Don't care. The meeting in the back room, I'm sure I'll be reading a lot of hip.
All right, guys, we're going to hear some remarks from Border Czar Tom Homan. Let's get into it. Let's go.
Look, let me start out by saying this. If I offend anybody today, I don't give a shit.
Let's go. I love it. I love it already. Love the attitude. Let's go.
Don't care. The meeting in the back room, I'm sure I'll be reading a lot of hip pieces on me tomorrow. I don't give a shit what you think about me.
The man.
I get asked all the time, does it bother you? There's a big part of this country that hates your guts. I don't care. I don't care. Because we got a job to do. You know, I wake up every day for the last 4 years pissed off because the Biden administration took the most secure border in my lifetime. And
guys, I feel like a lot of politicians, they just pretend like they care. And I feel like, you know, at least Tom Homan's just being honest, guys. He's got a job to do. He doesn't care about anybody's feelings. And I'm all in favor of what they've got going on, so let's hear it.
Secured on purpose, right? I worked for 6 presidents, starting with Ronald Reagan. Every president I ever worked for took steps to secure the border. Even Clinton and Obama took steps to secure the border because they clearly understood you can't have national security without border security. They got it. Joe Biden's the first president in history of the nation who came into office and unsecured the border on purpose. So for 4 years, I wake up every day pissed off. That changed November 5th. Now I wake up every day excited because I work for the greatest president of my lifetime, Donald J. Trump.
Guys, I want to comment again. I live in New York City. Oh my God, have we seen a lot of migrants? I mean, we've always had migrants here in New York City. The whole construction field is filled with migrants. And restaurant business, you don't really see it as much in the front of house with the wait staff and bartenders. But guys, the back of house, it's just filled with illegal immigrants. And it's been that way as long as I can remember. But it's true. Over the last couple years of Biden, there's been so many more immigrants. All these guys from Venezuela that were getting housed up in that Roosevelt Hotel on 42nd Street. I don't even know how much money the city spent in total housing migrants in shelters and feeding them and giving them free debit cards. But now we find out that a lot of these guys were dangerous criminals. They were gang members before they came over here. They weren't vetted at all. This has been absolute insanity the last couple of years under the Biden administration, guys. I'm so happy that this guy Tom Homan's here under Trump to clean things up. I think this is what everybody wanted.
For 4 years, we had over 10.5 million illegal aliens at our border. They released nearly 8 million into the country illegally. We had a 600% increase in sex trafficking women and children. We had a record number of known suspected terrorists and people on the terrorist watch list crossing the border. Under Trump, we had 14 in 4 years. Under Joe Biden, just shy of 400. Think about that for a moment. What Joe Biden did to our border was create the most significant public safety and national security vulnerability in this nation's history.
For no reason.
But guess what? We got one badass president now who's going to come in and going to take care of this border.
Guys, when there's a massive influx of immigrant labor into a specific place, like New York City, it has like a rippling effect, right? So it's not just that in certain neighborhoods, all the restaurant or local storefront jobs go to the people who are living in those neighborhoods. It's not just that. It's that if you're working in one of these industries where you're competing against immigrant labor, try asking for a raise, because the next guy and the next guy and the next guy are all going to work faster and harder than you for half of what you're willing to work for. Because where they're coming from, they've had such a poor lifestyle that if they've worked before, they were used to working for beans, guys, for pennies. And they come over here and they're making in an hour in the United States what they're making in, a half a week or a week where they're coming from in South America. And it's just, how are you supposed to make a decent living wage when you're up against that kind of poverty, guys?
Look at the numbers last few days. I'm telling you, every morning I get up, I can't wait to go to work. Because I know that I have a president who's going to open up every avenue of law enforcement to this great nation. In under 4 weeks, we have illegal crossings on the border down 95%. I remember when the president called me and said, I remember he called me when he brought me, this is the second time I came out of retirement for this man. So he called me, I was the first guy he called, and he says, okay, this is how the phone call went. I picked up the phone, I see POTUS on my cell phone, so I know it was Trump. He says, all right, Tom, you've been bitching about 4 years, you want to come fix it? And I didn't hesitate. I said, I'll come back and I'll do it for free. I'm so pissed off. You don't have to pay me. And look, in less than a month, illegal crossings down 95%. ICE has arrested over 21,000 people in the nation.
Guys, let's see. If we get 21, hold on, let's do a little bit of math here. In the first month, they made 21,000 arrests. 21,000 arrests, right? In 1 month. Times 12. That's 252,000. And then if they do that over the next 4 years, it's just a little bit over 1 million. Okay, let's go.
Gotaways. Under President Biden, the gotaways, 2.2 million people crossed the border, weren't arrested because the Border Patrol was too busy making sandwiches, changing diapers, making baby formula, making hospital runs, dealing with humanitarian crisis. 2.2 million people crossed the border and weren't apprehended, weren't fingerprinted. We had about 1,800 a day in 2023. You know how many had yesterday? 48.
Let's go. Let's go. It's like it was a free-for-all under
You're talking about
Biden.
2,000 miles of border and only 48 people escaped, but that's 48 too many. I'm not going to be happy if that number is 0.
Now we're talking.
Now we're getting a question. Well, you said you're going to concentrate on public safety threats and national security threats, but you arrested non-criminals. Yeah. Yeah, damn right we did. Because you're in the country illegally, which happens to be a violation of our law. Entering this country illegally is a crime, and we're not going to forgive it. Into sanctuary cities, game on, because Pam Bondi's back into place. And Kash Patel is back running the FBI. President Trump brought together one hell of a team, and every time I see one of these people get nominated and take their oath for office, I just get that much more excited. I'm afraid I'm going to have a heart attack one of these days because it just keeps getting better. Sanctuary cities are a sanctuary for criminals. I've read all these stories this week. Tom Homan insulted.
Guys, I'm born and raised in New York City, and I grew up here, and I went into construction. I went into construction part-time at the end of high school, and I used to work construction full-time, like over the summer, so just for a couple months. And I did that in college as well. I set up my schedule so that I could come home and work Fridays and Saturdays while I was in college. And I always just thought that I was crazy for thinking this. I always just thought that it's, like, am I being financially disadvantaged at work because there's illegal immigrants around me? And in a progressive city, you're in an echo chamber of people who are all telling you that no, this is good, this is a humanitarian thing, these guys are doing a good thing, they're coming here and doing jobs that nobody wants to do. But for years, guys, in reality, I've thought, not really. The reason why nobody wants to do those jobs is because the wages are so low that they don't pay enough for you to want to do those jobs, because you've got migrant labor doing the jobs and they're willing to work for so cheap. If there wasn't this abundance of migrant labor in New York City and sanctuary cities, you would have to pay people real wages to do jobs like working in construction, which, I mean, guys, there's a lot of jobs in society, but infrastructure, buildings, maintaining things around New York City, if it doesn't happen constantly, the city will crumble. So while people make a killing in, banking or investing or legal things or accounting or whatever, great. There's a necessity for all that. But the world around you, the infrastructure, the buildings that you exist in, that you live in, that you work in, the roads that you drive on, the people who fix those things should be paid all right. And they shouldn't be disenfranchised and disadvantaged by having this abundance of migrant labor in a sanctuary city, because it's not a sanctuary city for the people who are born here and work here. Let's keep going.
AOC. Well, look, it's not an insult if it's true. She says Homan has no game, he has nothing on me. Look, you can claim you're educating people according to their constitutional rights. I think she's a long ways away from being a constitutional scholar myself. Bottom line is, we know.
Me too, by the way. I think she's an idiot.
Game is. You can claim you're educating people to their rights, but we know what the end game is. Try to tell people how to invade law enforcement. And we're talking about people who enter the country illegally, which is a crime, committed a violent act against a U.S. citizen, were ordered removed by a judge. We got members of Congress saying it's okay to educate them how to invade law enforcement. We're not making this shit up. We're enforcing the laws enacted by Congress. And we're not going to apologize for it, not under this administration. We got great governors out there. Governor Pritzker, you ain't one of them. I met with Governor DeSantis yesterday. No, he's passed one of the strongest state immigration laws in this nation. Do you know it's a crime in the state of Arizona, in the state of Florida? It is a crime to enter the country illegally. He made his own state law. He has passed a law that he will fire any mayor or sheriff that doesn't help ICE enforce immigration law.
Wow. Okay.
The men and women of the Border Patrol, I love each and every one of you wearing that green uniform. You're the finest 1% this country has. So look, we're attacking the interior enforcement. For those who don't think those numbers are enough, I don't either. If you haven't seen, I'm happy with the numbers, but I'm not going to be satisfied until every criminal alien gang member, every criminal alien, every trend agua is eradicated from this country and send their ass to Gitmo where they belong. Damn, I love my job.
Yes. Go to Gitmo. That's right.
We got, and look, I already said we got the border locked down, we're crossing down 95%. We've already arrested 21, just above 21,000, and we're going to double the workforce. We're going to add more. We're going to add more targeting. We're going to add more teams. God bless the men and women of ICE. God bless all the DOJ components are with us. We've got U.S. Marshals, DEA, FBI, ATF, all these fine agencies helping us. And what's great about it, when we went to Chicago, Mayor of Chicago said I wasn't welcome in Chicago. Guess where the first place I went was? Chicago.
Guys, you know what? Really, God bless the people that works for ICE. When this things, first started happening, Trump got reelected, and we knew that Tom Homan was coming in as border security, border SAR, whatever, and we knew that there was going to be this deportation effort.
But having DEA and FBI there in ATF
one moment. Let me see
the
what he said.
DOJ components are with us. We've got U.S. Marshals, DEA, FBI, ATF.
Oh, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. I looked up how much ICE pays because I thought it might be kind of patriotic to work for ICE. I live in New York City. I know where there's a lot of migrants. I know where these guys live. Like, I don't know, you need some information, you need somebody to work with you. I looked up how much ICE makes, guys, and they don't make very much. So, streamers and content creators are out here sitting at home in front of their computer making a killing. And these guys are out here dealing with dangerous gang members. I think that maybe you guys could pay them a little bit more, man. Like, you know that people are streaming, content creating. You know that girls are making millions and millions of dollars on OnlyFans and all that stuff. Pay ICE a little more, guys. Pay working people a little bit more, man. Come on, dude. Like, at least these people should be making, in my opinion, $150,000 to $200,000 a year. If a girl can go on OnlyFans and make millions of dollars, these people should get paid all right, enough to have a home and a car and a good life.
All these fine agencies helping us. And what's great about it, when we went to Chicago, Mayor of Chicago said I wasn't welcome in Chicago. Guess where the first place I went was? Chicago. But having DEA and FBI there in ATF was great. We found an illegal alien with a gun. ATF does a criminal charge. We found an illegal alien with drugs. We prosecuted that crime. So we're prosecuting these people before we deport them, and that's exactly what we should be doing. We're going to make this country safe again. The third rail, when President Trump told me, he said, Homan, secure the border, run the biggest deportation operation this country's ever seen, and find over 300,000 missing children that were sex trafficked or forced labor trafficked in this country. And we're looking for them. And we're going to save children.
All right, saving children.
All these bad stories about Trump, Homan, you're racist, you're a white nationalist, you're a mean person. Okay, I'll take that. Because you know what Homan's doing? I'm working for the greatest president of my lifetime, and we're going to save lives. Because when 95% less people coming across the border, how many women ain't being raped? How many Americans aren't dying from fentanyl overdoses? How many no-suspected terrorists aren't getting in the country? How many women and children aren't sex trafficked in this country when you have a border lockdown? We're saving lives.
Guys, they're saving lives, but they're also saving livelihoods, man. We got to get American workers to be working for a better wage, man, because there's money in this country. There's too much money in this country for you and me and everybody else to be sitting at home not living a good life.
That's right. Stand up. President Trump's getting ready to come on stage. I got another message to the criminal cartels of Mexico. At the RNC, I said a speech. I said two things at the speech. If you're in the country illegally, you better start packing now. We're keeping that promise. The other thing I said on stage at the RNC, that President Trump is going to designate the criminal cartels of Mexico as a terrorist organization. He's going to wipe you off the face of the earth. After I said that, of course, I got numerous death threats. They've doubled the size of my security detail because all the cartels want to take Homan out. Well, I'll tell you what, come get some.
Let's
you
go.
have killed more
No
Americans
fear.
than every terrorist
America.
organization in the world combined. You are now a terrorist organization. So word out. to anybody that assists them, anybody that sells their drugs on the street, anybody that assists these cartels in any way. You are helping a terrorist organization, and the weight of the world's coming down on you.
Uh-oh. Wonder how they're going to go about doing that.
I read a story last night. The police commissioner of Boston. You said you doubled down on not helping the law enforcement officers of ICE. I'm coming to Boston. I'm bringing hell with me.
I love the way this guy speaks, man. Tom Homan is the man. Yeah.
I looked at the numbers this morning.
Yeah.
I stopped counting at 9. 9 child rapists that were in jail in Massachusetts. But rather than honoring an ICE detainer, released them back into the street. You're not a police commissioner. Take that badge off your chest, put it in the desk drawer, because you became a politician. You forgot what it's like to be a cop.
Exactly. I don't know what these policies are of letting criminals go, man. Lock criminals up. We all pay our taxes. We all get it taken right out of our paycheck. Lock criminals up. I'm tired of this, man. So many people stole from the local Walgreens down my street that it closed. It went out of business and it closed. And now there's no Walgreens there at all. I'm tired of this stuff, man. It used to be way back when that if you steal something, you get your hand chopped off. I don't know where we get away with this. You know, we just let you go and that's it. Come on, man.
And guess what? The men and women of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, they found those predators and they're locked back up, and we're going to deport them from the United States. To the men and women of ICE, the agency I used to run, I was the first ICE director that actually came up through the ranks. For the 20,000 men and women that work for me, I never asked them to do anything I didn't do myself. What I've done recently, I brought a bunch of badass old school boys back. I got a guy named Mark Hall. Mark Hall went through the Border Patrol Academy in 1984. I said, Mark, you ready to come back and make a difference? And he dropped everything he did to come back. I'm bringing a bunch of old school people back to show the young folk how we did it and how we're going to do it.
Good. Show them the old way, because this new crap doesn't work.
Like I said, I want to leave you with this. I said I got 45 minutes left. Look, if Congressman J. Paul couldn't, gavel me to shut up, no one on this building is going to get me off the stage until I'm ready to get off the stage. Now they turn the time red. I guess that's a warning. Look, here's what I'm going to say. And I hope you agree with me. If you agree with me, would you please stand up and let him know, because he's listening right now. The greatest president in my lifetime is back in the Oval Office. He's going to make America great again.
I stand up.
He's going to make America healthy again.
Let's go.
He's going to make America safe
Stop
again.
letting all these people be unhealthy. Stop letting all these rapists run rampant in our society. I stand up for Trump. Make America great again. Tom Homan, the man. The man.
Fix this shit.
Fix this shit. Oh, man, that was great, guys. That was great. You know, the only thing that I feel like he kind of left out, and I wonder when they're actually going to start talking about it. Once they get all the violent criminals and Tren de Aragua guys, what about all the other guys that are just, out here? The other day I watched a Cash Jordan video, and he says, according to him, there are 400,000 illegal migrants living throughout the city. So I don't know how many of them are Tren de Aragua, but that's a lot of migrants, guys. Every day, if I go to work and I take the N train into Manhattan, when I transfer there at Queensboro Plaza, you see the 7 train come across the platform, and when those doors open, it's like it's like a full train of migrants that's coming to the city. So it's like they're all out there on the 7 line. It's not like we don't know where they are. They're out there, guys.